When people think of a France trip, they often feel like they have to choose Paris or the French Riviera. But honestly, why not both? You can leave the Mediterranean in the morning and be sitting at a Parisian cafe by lunchtime. So over the next 2 videos, we're taking you along on our perfect Paris weekend. And don't worry, we'll leave the obvious sights to you. The Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, the Arc de Triomphe, Notre Dame, Montmartre. What we're after is something else. The cute cafe, the historic restaurant, the museum that's actually worth your time, the canal where half of Paris shows up on a weekend night just to be. Here's how we do Paris. 6:10 on a Friday morning in Cannes, end of May. The city is barely awake, and honestly, neither am I. Any minute now, almost everything's ready. Wait, where's Anja? There she is, 10 minutes to go, perfect. Now, one thing you need to know about TGVs, when the train pulls in, you want to be standing at your carriage. Not somewhere down the platform, not still buying a coffee, at your carriage, trust us on this one. And there it is, all aboard, right compartment, bags up, seats found. Paris, here we come! Many visitors don't realize this, but you can leave the beach in Nice in the morning and step off the train in central Paris in time for lunch. Less than 6 hours by TGV from Nice, 5.5 from Cannes. The landscape outside slowly shifts, Mediterranean light giving way to the French countryside. On board, everyone's doing their thing. Then the suburbs. And then, right on time, Paris, Gare de Lyon, 11:50. Which is perfect because in 10 minutes we have a reservation. And lucky for us, it's very, very close. But first, let's take a look at everything we've packed into this weekend. 2.5 days, 1 beautiful city, and a pretty full itinerary. Alright, lunch now. And as we said, we don't have to go far. In fact, we don't leave the station at all. Because right here upstairs in the Gare de Lyon is one of the most beautiful restaurants in Paris. If you like this kind of opulence, Le Train Bleu. Without a reservation, we wouldn't have stood a chance today. This place has a reputation and a very full dining room to prove it. And it turns out Le Train Bleu has a rather personal connection to where we come from. The name is a tribute to the legendary train that once linked Paris to the Côte d'Azur, running all the way along the Mediterranean coast to Ventimiglia, just across the Italian border. Named after its deep blue carriages, so in a way we feel right at home. While we're busy not being able to decide what to order, honestly, how are you supposed to choose? A few more things about this place. It opened in 1900 for the World's Fair, designed by the same architect who built the Gare de Lyon's famous clock tower. It's been a listed historic monument for over 50 years now, which makes perfect sense when you look up at those ceiling frescoes, the chandeliers, the gilded everything. Oh, and a few people have eaten here before us. Jean Cocteau, Brigitte Bardot, Salvador Dali, Coco Chanel. Today, it's a mix of travelers, tourists, regulars, and people whose train is running late, a waiter tells us with a smile. Oh, here we go. For Anja, a spring vegetable minestrone with ravioli. For me, burrata with tomatoes and every color imaginable. Exactly right for the heat that's apparently waiting for us this weekend. Cheers! And wow, it tastes just as good as it looks. Anja's only disappointment, the curtains on one side of the restaurant are drawn, which makes everything darker than usual. And the reason? The entire facade outside is wrapped in scaffolding. Renovation works for a whole year. Not our luckiest timing. But the dessert more than makes up for it. Absolutely ridiculously good. Flavor combinations we did not see coming. We could go on, but judging by your face right now, we think you get the idea. Right, time to drop the bags. We've booked a hotel not far from Place d'Italie, just across the Seine. few stops by bus, and we're there. And what a little gem, all done in purple. Very Paris. Oh, and did we mention the heat? End of May in Paris, and it's absolutely roasting. Hotter than back home on the French Riviera, if you can believe it. We claim our room, bags down, phones out, figuring out the best route to our next stop, and then we're straight back out. Because there's a museum waiting, one that genuinely surprised us in the best possible way. The metro takes us straight there. Alright, you've probably guessed it by now, we're heading to the Musée d'Orsay. And we're really excited about this one. The queue, thankfully, is short. Less than 10 minutes from the back of the line, through security and tickets in hand, and we hadn't even pre-booked. Which, in Paris museum terms, feels like a small miracle. Now, the first thing that hits you is the building itself. Because this wasn't always a museum, it was a railway station built in 1900 for the World's Fair. In fact, it was the world's first electrified urban rail terminal. The giant clocks, the vaulted glass ceiling, the grand hall, all original. They just swapped the trains for art. By the early 1970s, the station was facing demolition. Public outcry saved it. Today, it's one of the most visited museums in the world. Good call, Paris. The Musée d'Orsay now houses the largest collection of Impressionist and Post-Impressionist paintings in the world. Monet, Renoir, Degas, Van Gogh, Cézanne, all under one roof. Around 3,000 works in total, a fraction of the Louvre's 35,000, but it easily rivals it in popularity. The collection covers 1848 to 1914, from the end of the French monarchy to the start of the First World War. The whole arc of the Belle Époque. In this whole big museum, we found an old friend, Bonnard, who painted this, who has his own museum back home next to Cannes. And we're actually looking for a landscape, a Provençal landscape, and couldn't find it. So there's a cat instead. Anja's absolute favorite piece in the entire museum turns out to be this monumental painting of Paris, the city as it looked in 1855. She spots roughly where our hotel is. And look at how much of the left bank was still open land back then. The Île de la Cité, though, already remarkably similar to how it looks today. And just beneath our feet, a scale model of the city in 3 dimensions. You can pick out the Galeries Lafayette, the Grand Boulevards, the whole thing. Paris in miniature. By this point, we're thoroughly, happily overwhelmed by art and culture. But this restaurant, possibly the most gorgeous museum restaurant in existence, brings us straight back to life. That and the iced coffee. Definitely the iced coffee. Our day is far from over, but before we move on, a quick word from us. If you've been enjoying the places we show you in our videos, don't forget that we've also created a written travel guide for the French Riviera. It's a downloadable PDF packed with our favorite towns, beaches, restaurants, viewpoints, hidden gems, and practical tips, with tons of direct links to our videos and Google Map locations so you can easily plan your own trip. Just scan the QR code on screen to find out more. Just behind the museum, the Seine is waiting, and so is our next ride. The Batobus, Paris' hop-on, hop-off boat service. 9 stops, both banks, and with a 24 or 48-hour pass, you can jump on and off wherever you like. We get the 24-hour pass and head upstream first. And that long, elegant building stretching along the opposite bank, that's the Louvre, all 700 meters of it. Along the Île de la Cité, the city's young crowd has climbed the riverbanks. It's past 6 in the evening, and the heat is still sitting heavy over Paris. Then Notre Dame is coming into view. Still in recovery, still breathtaking. And finally, we switch sides and drift back downstream. Past the weirdly wrapped Pont Neuf and the usual suspects. And then, around a long, gentle bend in the river, the Eiffel Tower. From the water, it somehow looks even more inevitable. Like it was always going to be there. This is, by the way, our version of the Eiffel Tower visit. No queues. We then float back up under the Pont Alexandre III, one of the most extravagant bridges you'll ever cross, and back to the Musée d'Orsay where we started. And then we keep going, back to Saint-Germain-des-Prés, because that's where we're spending our evening. Saint-Germain-des-Prés has long been the neighborhood of writers, philosophers and artists. These days it's a little more polished, but the atmosphere survives. Quiet squares, beautiful old facades, and terraces that invite you to sit and watch the world go by. If you're looking for a neighborhood that feels like the Paris of your imagination, beautiful and effortlessly stylish, this is it. We ended up on the Place de l'Odéon, mostly by accident. And then we just stayed, talked for hours, and watched the evening slowly cool down. But before we call it a night, tomorrow we're heading to one of Paris's most beautiful department stores, one of the oldest restaurants in the city, a surprising museum you've probably never heard of, and a secret view of a Paris that most tourists completely miss. Part 2 of our perfect Paris weekend drops next week, so make sure you subscribe and have your notifications on so you don't miss it. Until next week, take care, and as we say down on the Riviera, profitez!